So it was 7:40. Got in the car like every other day, and I was coming, like, this is the way I go to work. Anyways, I get here and the truck wasn't going nowhere, so I was like, I'll just wait. And while I'm waiting, I noticed some cars pull up behind me, and so I, roll my window down like normal, and he walked up. He had it was all brown, the vest and everything. It was all brown. He says, "Hey, I need to see your ID." I'm like, all right, whatever, Gave him the ID, and I gave him the ID, and when I went back down to put my wallet in my console, he's like, "Get out of the car, get out." And I'm like, for what?
This isn't a one-off. U.S. citizens keep getting picked up by ICE because the system leans on passive ID checks and enforcement policies that invite profiling. During Trump's first term, federal auditors found that ICE issued detainers for at least 895 U.S. citizens from 2016 to Q2 2020, and then canceled about 74% of them, a red flag for misidentification built into the process.
Okay. ¿Mande? Estoy ilegalmente. ¿Qué? No lo oigo. Ilegalmente. Ok, vámonos. ¿Abre la puerta? ¿Abre la puerta? Vamos a pelar. Wait. Vamos a salirnos todos. Wait. Hey. Wait, hold up. Abre la puerta. Hold up. Hold up nothing. What? You guys have no rights to do that. We don't have rights to do that? No. ¿Pero por qué? Él dice nomás va a quitar la foto. Wait. Wait, get back. You can't grab me like that. You can't grab me like that.
George Redis, a 25-year-old U.S. citizen and disabled Army vet working security at a cannabis farm in Camarillo, California, was grabbed in an ICE raid while driving to work. At a checkpoint, agents surrounded his car, threw tear gas behind it, smashed his window, pepper sprayed him, and dragged him out.
They started banging on my driver's side and passenger side window. There was ICE agents in front of my car telling me to reverse, telling me to pull over to the side, all while other agents are pulling on my door handle, trying to rip my door open, trying to get me out of the car, all while other agents are telling me to do different things. No one was in charge.
You told them you're a U.S. veteran. You told them you're a U.S. citizen. What was their response after they smashed your window?
The response was no response. I was guilty of anything they had thought.
He was held for 3 days with no charge. Redis says he missed his daughter's 3rd birthday and was released with a form saying only that he'd been detained pursuant to arrest. Redis is now pursuing accountability through the Federal Tort Claims Act. He's filed administrative claims against the responsible federal agencies, a required first step that gives them 6 months to resolve it before he can sue. Backed by the Institute for Justice, he's alleging violations of his constitutional rights.
As long as you look Mexican, they will come up to you and they just take you up.
That's Javier Ramirez, convinced he was racially profiled by immigration agents on June 12th in Montebello.
We reported his arrest outside his tow shop. He says agents came in but never showed him a warrant.
One of them literally just tells him, hey, just get him. He's Mexican. He's an American citizen, bro. Come on.
We showed you video taken by his family trying to convince mass agents to let him go.
They're hostage my brother.
And how scared they say they were as he was driven away in unmarked cars. 22 hours later, they found out he was taken into federal custody after hiring an attorney. 4 days after that, we showed you sketches from his first federal court hearing that we covered back on June 16th.
No, I'm pretty much traumatized from everything.
This is a federal complaint charging Ramirez with resisting arrest, attempting to run toward an officer, and also biting one agent on the thigh. He denies he did any of that.
As soon as I see him, the first thing I do is pull up my hands. Like, hey, I'm not a threat to you.
Off camera, Ramirez showed me surveillance video. In it, I watched the moment Ramirez walked toward agents and had his hands raised. His attorneys do not want to release that video publicly yet, pending potential litigation.
¿Por qué le pegas?
A 52-year-old man, Narciso Barranco, a California resident for more than 2 decades, stumbled backward as ICE agents closed in. tackling him to the pavement in broad daylight in a Santa Ana parking lot. The arrest took place on June 21, 2025, outside an IHOP at Edinger Avenue and Ritchie Street. As two agents advanced, Barranco tried to walk away until one deployed pepper spray. Barranco, an undocumented Californian with no criminal record, is married to a U.S. citizen. He is the father of 3 sons who have served in the United States Marine Corps, including Alejandro, a veteran who took part in the U.S. evacuation of Afghanistan in 2021. The viral arrest video drew widespread attention and spurred a GoFundMe campaign that has raised more than $233,000 from over 6,000 donors. Supporters circulated TikTok clips, including one where Barranco expressed concern about the unfinished landscaping job he had left behind. Many cited it as evidence of his strong work ethic, a sentiment echoed in comments on the Justice for Narciso GoFundMe page.
This Cardinero that was beaten and detained by ICE finally got a chance to talk to his family and listen to the first things that he says.
Alejandro says his father's first concern, he asked his son to finish the landscaping job he had to leave behind.
His son mentioned that the father hadn't eaten, he was wearing the same clothes, was dirty, and had blood from the assault. I think this once again showcases the resiliency of immigrants, their work ethic, and how much they want to be contributing members to society. We have Americans out there that are doing everything in their power not to work, legit leeching off the government, and this is the contrast. This is not a criminal, they're not making the country safer by detaining him, and 3 of his kids are Marines. I agree with what his son said. They should feel betrayed by the way that this country and officers are treating community members.
ICE, in a statement later retweeted by the agency, said Barranco swung a weed trimmer at agents during the enforcement operation. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin added that agents took appropriate action and followed their training to use the minimum amount of force necessary to resolve the situation in a manner that prioritizes the safety of the public and our officers.
Narciso Barranco was trying to protect himself from unidentified masked men that approached him while he's at work doing his job. So you can say that Narciso Barranco tried to assault ICE with a weed eater. That's not how it went down. The man, he's a legal citizen at work, and you get approached by unidentified masked men that's telling you to come here so we can detain you and ship you off. What would you do? Would you just say, oh, okay, let me put my weed eater down and I'm gonna go with these guys even though they're wrong? So no, he didn't try to assault them. They assaulted Narciso. That's what happened.
Alejandro has publicly stated that his father was unarmed during the incident and had not committed any crimes, and is kind and hardworking. Alejandro also told the reporters that Border Patrol agents beat his father.
I think everyone who saw the video was very mad, and I think everybody who's human, would react the same way and realize that that wasn't correct and that was not just.
And he would know a thing or two about physical tactics. He's a Marine Corps veteran who served in the Middle East. His 2 younger brothers are active duty Marines stationed at Camp Pendleton. Their service making what's happened seem, to them,
his family says he called from the detention center, reporting a dislocated shoulder and bruises across his body.
I was saying earlier, we love our country, and my dad loves this country, my mom loves this country. They've never done anything bad here. They don't have any criminal record. They've always just been hardworking people. They educated us to love this country, to support, to give back, to help in any way. It's very hard. I don't know. I'm heartbroken.
He was released on a $3,000 bond. The first thing his family did was get him medical help, saying he was still in a lot of pain from the struggle with federal agents. DHS has stated that medical care is offered in custody, but his family disputes that claim.
This was the moment Narciso Barranco was finally able to see his son Alejandro, hugging each other after spending more than 20 days in federal custody. Tell me about when you saw your dad.
Yeah, he was crying. Just gave him a big hug for a while.
Did he seem like his old self?
No. I've never seen him like this.
Narciso Barranco remains free while his case moves forward in immigration court, with no criminal charges filed in connection with his arrest. Alejandro shared his perspective on why he believes his father was targeted in the first place.
I do believe he was racially profiled. I think they just assumed he didn't have legal status and came after him.
In 2025, DHS rescinded its protected areas policy, giving ICE more discretion to make arrests in public spaces like parking lots and job sites. Orange County Rapid Response Network, a coalition of volunteers, organizers, and lawyers, ramped up efforts after coordinated ICE raids in Santa Ana and neighboring areas. They circulated warnings, connected families to immigration lawyers, and helped residents navigate the threat of deportation. Barranco's case is frequently cited in legal filings, community forums, and immigration rights advocacy materials to illustrate concerns over what some groups describe as excessive force used in ICE enforcement operations across public spaces. A class action lawsuit filed in New York seeks to halt ICE officers from arresting people outside immigration courts without due process, a practice challenged under the Fifth Amendment protections. Similar lawsuits in California and Texas also challenge ICE's expanded use of public arrests, arguing the directives may violate constitutional rights and lack proper transparency.